hello there. It's rather disconcerting when a random bolt falls off the bottom of your car. Oh dear. Right, today we're in the Nissan Primera P12 and the problem is that the heat shield above the exhaust has fallen out of place because of that bolt. So there's a very irritating, loud and consistent rattling noise underneath the car. I'll show you. Can you hear that? That needs to be fixed, and to do that we're going to have to jack the car up in the air, get that wheel off, and then we'll have space to see precisely what's going on and hopefully sort it out. Okay, it's 5 minutes later, and as we can see the car is now jacked up. We're using a trolley jack today, but just in case that fails, I've put the wheel here under the sill. We also have a scissor jack there at the front, a chock under the offside front wheel, and underneath the car there we have an axle stand. There it is, and just over there that you may or may not be able to see is another chock under the rear left wheel. So I'm as happy as I'll ever be to work under there. Right, let's have a look and see what's going on. So the problem under here is that this heat shield, this one, has fallen out of place, and that is the banging we can hear under the car. So what I'll do is zoom in on this area here where my finger is, and then we can see why it's fallen out of place. Now this area here is where the bolt I showed you earlier is supposed to be, something like that. And what's supposed to happen is that the whole lot moves up and bolts into this heat shield above, but the obvious problem is that this heat shield has gone so rusty that the bolt has fallen out. That's left us with an enlarged hole here, which is in fact missing its side completely, and it's a similar story up here on the other heat shield. So we need a solution. Now I've been thinking about this, and 3 potential solutions spring to mind of varying complexities, but we'll try the easiest one first. Now what we're looking for is an enlarged bolt with a corresponding nut, and hopefully we have something suitable in here somewhere. Now that is obviously way too long, but we could cut it down with a hacksaw, so that is an option. Pop that one up there for now. Bit short. Now that might work if it had a nut. What do you reckon? We need a nut that matches though. How about this wing nut? Way too big. Anything else? Well, there's a smaller wing nut in here. Let's try that one. Oh, maybe. Come on. No, the thread doesn't match. Ooh. Yeah, we'll try this one. Well, I think that might work, particularly if we add some enlarged washers, which we do have around here somewhere. First though, we need to clean up the thread because it's rusty and dirty. And that'll never do. So we'll just give the bolt and the nut a quick squirt of GT85 and then brush them off a little with this wire brush, which was last used to fix the £100 Nissan Micra, which as we speak is sitting just over there. That's good enough. The nut is running up and down the thread exactly as it should. And we also have some washers now. Here they are. So we've got 2 large and 2 medium. And of course we also need to figure out what size socket this nut needs. So what do you reckon? What size is that? 17 mil? 18? Something like that. Well, it's not a 17. 18 feels about right. I don't think it's an imperial size. 18 mil it is. Well, there's very little room for the camera under here, but I'll get you the best angle I can. So, we have here the bolt with a medium and large washer attached. And I'm going to pop that there to the top heat shield, and then put the lower heat shield in situ. Oops. And then we'll add a medium washer. No, we won't. Hang on, let's try again. We'll add a large washer there, then a medium washer, and then the nut, which should now slide on easily because it's been cleaned. There we are. Now we need these sockets, which I can just about reach, and get the nut done up properly. Not too tight though, because otherwise we're going to bust something else. That feels about right. Now, while the wheel's off, we may as well do a quick brake inspection. So let's check the brake disc first. And what you get on a disc that's heavily worn is a large lip all around the edge here. And there's a little bit of a lip on this one, but it's not too bad. So there's plenty of meat left on that disc, which suits me just fine because I'm not looking to spend any more money. Now, as for the pad, it's a little tricky to see on camera, but there is plenty of meat on there. Same on the back one. And we could just about see down there the ABS ring as well. In fact, the front ABS rings failed on this car some years ago and cost me a lot of money. That was fun. Tell you what, while we're here, we'll give the brake disc a quick clean, just because we may as well. So let's get the wheel back on. So we need to line up the holes in the wheel with those bolts. There we go, first time. Right, where's the wheel nut? Pop that on like so. Make sure it's the right way round. I have also given the tyre a quick inspection while it was off the car, and that's fine. It's a Michelin Primera P12 tyre, if you're curious, which I like very much. It certainly suits the P12. Right. So all 5 wheel nuts are now snug, but not tight. We'll torque them down properly when the car's on the ground. And to that end, I've already removed some of these supports, which are over there. And now we need to get this scissor jack out the way. And we'll get that chock out the way too. And now, let's just double check. Yep. Now, there's no reason we can't lower the car slowly on the trolley jack. You ready? Here we go. Good. Now, it's important the wheel nuts aren't too loose or indeed too tight, and Nissan recommends they should be torqued down to between 98 and 118 Newton meters. So we've set this torque wrench to something in the middle, which is 110 Newton meters. Right, now these wheel nuts need a 21mm socket, if you're curious. And we just torque them down gently until we hear that click. And rather than go all the way around in a circle of one nut after the other, it's best to do opposites. So we shall do that. Raining now. Right, only one more to go, but for that we need this adapter because there's a locking wheel nut on here. So on goes the adapter, like so. On goes the torque wrench, and then tighten it down until we hear that satisfying click. There we are, and finally we have this cover that pops on there. No, it doesn't, but it's supposed to pop on there like that. Oh, I know. Take that off first, that will help. Well, we just had a torrential downpour, which means my tools are soaking wet. Of this slot too, so that's a bit of a pain. And the scissor jack, but never mind. At least I managed to protect the camera. In other news, have you seen my electric razor? It's just down here, and I think it's fair to say that it's seen better days. Long story short, the razor malfunctioned. I gave it to a 6-year-old to take apart, and boy, did he go to town. I may have helped a little. So there you go. That's how to fix a rattly, rusty heat shield in a car and get everything soaking wet. Ugh. Now, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to CarSpyTV. That makes it easier to find my other content. Can you also please do me a favour and click like on this video, and I'll see you whenever my tools are dry. Bye.